Why? Why would they do this? I'm legit angry they are giving Juhi the boot. The ship is over with no closure in sight. You have to really feel for her too. She tried to overcome her fears, only to face another problem she wasn't equipped to handle, and it essentially broke her will. It's legitimately frustrating to see a likable character give up like that. The fact that this bugs me as much as it does makes one thing very clear. This show makes me care about what it's doing. Speaking of caring, sorry Wu, I don't care about Wong. I'm not buying it. Yeah, he's an S rank, but he's still biding his time, and the longer he waits, the more likely it is he turns out to be a Dylan Danis level threat. As in, not one at all. In the meantime, what do you get when you put a drunk, a cripple, some goofs, and a child together? You get the C-rank crew Jinho put together, and I find it hilarious. They aren't even trying to hide what they're doing. Yeah, Hoodie Girl finally showed up, but immediately takes an L from Jinu, who calls her a child with no experience. They must not know who each other are at this point, because they don't react to each other like they do at all. But hey, it's not all bad for our ragtag group of losers. She and the other guys basically hit the lotto. They get to chill outside the gate, playing cards, gambling on baseball games with their interpreter, or whatever else they want to do, and then get to cash in their supercharged pandemic checks for doing nothing. Jinu walking out of the gate like a boss was fun to see, and it never gets old seeing people underestimate him and then end up shocked, especially when he follows it up casually saying, alright, let's hit the next gate. It's also nice to see Jinu's intelligence and perception continue to be highlighted in episodes like these, the ones with less fighting. Clearly a lot of thought has gone into the power system and mechanics of this show, but also into how it impacts Jinu as a character, and I like that a lot. Then we basically get an AMV of Jinu pimp slapping these monsters around, leveling up like crazy, and getting new upgrades. Monsters are running away from him now. You can't tell me he's not pushing A rank, at least at this point. And what the hell is a job change request? What is this new twist? Where is this gonna take us now? And okay, let me get this straight. Manager Wu has been suspicious of Jinu since what? Episode 3? And Manager An shows up halfway through episode 10 and cracks the case before the episode ends. Wu, my guy, you might need to take a long look in the mirror on this one, because your inspecting skills aren't it. Though it doesn't help when An shows up, everybody's casually chilling, and it's so obvious what they're doing, and Hoodie Girl makes it even more obvious, and now An is on to them. I have to imagine this girl has a bigger role in this show than simply being the brat we've seen her to be so far. They've left way too many background clues for this to be the pinnacle of her character. Now we see a dream sequence, and Jeju is so hardcore that they changed the entire animation style. I didn't realize this was a Mappa and Sukuna situation we were dealing with here. I can't wait to see what goes down there when we get to it. Okay, An may be a good investigator, but his negotiation tactics, they're a bit lacking. Jinu played him like a fiddle and ripped him off big time. And to touch on that deeper, I found how cold Jinu was in that sit-down notable, because yeah, you have to be firm and ruthless in negotiations, which is why higher-ups tend to have sociopathic tendencies, but this seemed darker than necessary. Between the implied threats and the cut on the cheek, it felt as though a line was on the verge of being crossed. It may have been because of the stealth ability, but even his voice was more sinister. This has been a clear trend for him over a handful of episodes now, with him admitting as much last episode. Between that and his secret essentially being out, I'm concerned for where this is going. And I'm sorry, I'm a child, but I cracked up at the close your eyes and open your mouth moment. Such an awkward request, and you know Manager An had something completely different in mind when that happened. Anyway, I'm extremely curious what this job change quest is going to entail. Solo leveling loves throwing in these little swerves every few episodes to keep you on your toes, and I'm here for it. On to episode 11, and hopefully soon, to Jeju. And lastly, shout out to Tough Juff, my gaming partner in crime. Looking forward to making some content on that channel shortly.